Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It really means a lot to have such a supportive audience here tonight. This is the North Seattle College's Modern Jazz Ensemble, and that very first piece you heard from us was Montserrat Surat by Sebastian Isler. It's actually a really common song played at Honk Fest, so this kind of style of like street music bands. This piece and another one you'll hear are things that would actually normally wouldn't be played in this kind of setting, but tonight's concert is a huge diverse range of things, trying to get an example of all kinds of places we can play jazz throughout the route. All right, folks, so my name is Andy Chappell. I'm the director of this group. I'm also the assistant director of the North Seattle Symphonic Band. Thank you. And the next piece you're going to hear from us is Olio, and Olio will feature a number of soloists, just like our last one did. By the way, our last soloists were Sam, Cameron, Brad, and Margaret. This next piece, Olio, was made famous and written by Sonny Rollins, and this arrangement is by Mark Taylor. You're going to be hearing from Sam and Derek, John, Alex, and then all of them come back later on for some spicy stuff towards the end. So enjoy Olio.
next piece is by Irving Berlin. It's called Blue Skies. I first became acquainted with Irving Berlin's music when I was about a sophomore in high school, and I sat in the pit orchestra of a production of Annie Get Your Gun in my hometown in Southern California. Irving Berlin, what can you say? Irving Berlin, without Irving Berlin, the American songbook would be slim indeed. Jerome Kern once said of Irving Berlin has no place in American music. Irving Berlin is American music. George Gershwin called him the greatest songwriter in history. High praise coming from George Gershwin. What did he write? He wrote his first hit was in 1911, Alexander's Ragtime Band. A few years after that, he wrote a piece that was debuted by Kate Smith in 1938, God Bless America. And on Christmas Day of 1941, his piece, White Christmas, was debuted by Bing Crosby. He wrote 1,500 songs, 20 musicals, 15 movie scores, a highlight of American music. The piece that we're about to play, Blue Skies, is a song about happiness. Blue skies smiling on me, nothing but blue skies do I see. It was originally written in a forgettable Rodgers and Hart musical in 1926, but then it was picked up in 1927 in the very first talking motion picture, Al Jolson's The Jazz Singer, in 1927. It was then again performed 27 years after that by Danny Kaye and the aforementioned Bing Crosby in White Christmas. It was then performed 300 years after that, in the 24th century, when Lieutenant Commander Data sang it in Star Trek Nemesis. So I have it on good authority that this song's going to be around for a while. When this melody is first introduced by Mr. Cameron Beers, my esteemed colleague in the Department of Trombonification, you'll understand why this beautiful tune has been around for 100 years and is likely to be around for another 300. Ladies and gentlemen, Irving Berlin's Blue Skies.
that piece, our soloists that you just heard were Cameron, Monty, Derek, Margaret, and Sam.
The next piece we're going to be playing. Just a little bit. The next piece we're going to be playing is a classic from New Orleans, Joe Avery Blues. It is sometimes called Second Line. It's got 20 different names that I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe even 50, maybe even 60. But it, so there is funerals. Bummer. So let's make them less of a bummer, right? So there's a tradition of like parading around the street with them. So the first line is the family of the deceased or whatever. Lame. And the second line is a band. Way cooler. Because they're not all bummed out. Good mood. And they would be playing this music that's very like improvisational, like there's a very loose structure, but it's like do whatever, have fun, but also like stay long. I don't know. I'm gonna play in that.
Thank you, John. I was going to say the soloist beforehand. You're going to be hearing from John on bass sax, as well as August on trumpet, Jade on trombone, and Cameron on trombone. In between each soloist, we have a little send-off. So just a reminder about our good luck send-off. One, two, one, two, Alex makes his way over to introduce the next piece, I want to give a little more information about this group. It's the third quarter of its existence. Yeah, confirmed. And it's my first quarter as being the director of this group. It's been a really good time. Thank you. And something unique to this quarter that they didn't have in the past is that it has been changed to technically an independent study class. So what that means in reality is that they rehearse on their own for a full hour before I actually come in and work with them. Where that's really, really cool is that while people have been, of course, we're learning stuff for a concert, and people will come from all kinds of backgrounds for their jazz experience in terms of, well, some of them are just learning to improvise, some of them are just kind of refreshing some skills. We've also been able to work on some really cool ensemble leadership skills, and so that's been awesome to see that development growth over this quarter. So big round of applause for that.
All right, the next piece is called Duck Confit, which is a childhood favorite of mine, something we would always sneak back over the border from France. If you didn't know, confit is a fancy word for saying canned in its own fat. So I think the musically important term there is fat, and what we're looking for today is a fat groove, some fat beats, and hopefully some fat solos.
Duck Confit was written by Jessica Smith, and today on solos for those fat solos, you're going to be hearing from Margaret, Monty, Brad, and John.
Okay, our next piece is April in Paris. I'm going to keep it real short. Okay, the music is by Vernon Duke, and it's arranged by Rick Stitzel. Yeah, there. I kept it short. There you go. Do we have solos on this one? I don't remember.
Nope. Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's a cool part with August and Derek. There, that is short.
As Jared makes his way back to his seat, I'll add just a little bit of extra context. April in Paris is made most popular by the Count Basie bands. I'm from Kansas City originally, and so the Count Basie band's kind of music and stuff I grew up because Count Basie is popularized. Most of the time he's famous was around Kansas City, and in fact he has all kinds of music in surrounding, composing surrounding Kansas City itself. And so, enjoy April in Paris. I know we only have one last piece left for you all. Thank you all again very much for coming. After this last piece, I'm going to be putting a box out in front of the stage. So this is a course that people can take through the North Seattle College. It's also something that community members can sign up for just paying dues. And through that, with being a smaller ensemble, there's just a lot of things that they just don't cover all the costs. And so if you feel so inclined to put, say, $1 or $5, or if you want to hug, $100 per se, in the box in front, or checks me out to North Salem College. That would be really great to help continue the music here at North Salem College. So really appreciate that. The very, very next and last piece that you'll hear from us is Hometown, written by Annie Booth. And oh my gosh, lots of solos here from it. You're going to hear from Cameron, Sam, Jade, and Derek. And once again, thank you all very much for coming out. And let's hear Hometown.